Hello, good evening, SM viewers. This is Satellite Media. Let us look at this burning issue on the front burner that has to do with the alarm being raised by Nnamdi Kanu's family. This time around, coming from Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother, claiming that, or rather alleging that, before the election of 2023, that they had a discussion with the son of the president, talking about Seyi Tinubu, who, according to him, promised to get his brother out of incarceration after the victory of the father. And at the time, he claimed that the son of the president said the meeting he had with him was at the instance of his father. But surprisingly, according to him, that the promise was not fulfilled. But let us look at the background of what is happening. Before we do that, let me read from the Vanguard newspaper regarding this issue. I think from what you can see here, it says Tinubu's refusal to honor Seyi's pact with us, disappointing. You go further to say, Nnamdi Kanu family, that's where it's coming from. Then if you read further, it's saying that the family of the 10 leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have expressed disappointment over the failure of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to honor an alleged agreement between his son Seyi and the family before the 2023 general election. Then let us look at the background of what Nnamdi Kanu stands for, because we understand that Nnamdi Kanu is talking about self-determination of his people, that is the sovereign state of Biafra. Then if you look at the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, of course, that has been ratified in Nigeria. It gives right to people for self-determination. And equally looking at the United Nations Declaration on Human and People's Rights, is equally another area where people have right of self-determination, which have been ratified in Nigeria. But the point is, look at this scenario. Some people have said that the government may want to play politics with it. But I think for me, what is honorable at this point, what is right at this point, is for the government to see whether they can find a political solution to that quagmire. But for me, I think at this point, I should use this opportunity to even appeal to Mr. President, talking about Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to please use his good office. They can get a political solution to that issue, because I understand that peace have eluded the southeastern part of the country. If I have reason to visit any part of southeastern part of the country, you will understand that there is no peace in that region, particularly regarding the issue of insecurity. But the point that some people are making, that the government may want to use that to play politics, because the other time we saw a younger brother to former governor of Ekiti State, talking about Fayose, coming out to advise the government to release Nnamdi Kanu and give him contract, perhaps to secure votes in the southeastern part of the country ahead of 2027 presidential election. We understand that the president is fast losing grip on the north. We're looking at the stiff opposition of the north to most of his policies, and the complaint of northerners over the way and manner his governance is impacting on them. Particular reference has to do with this Galolo, Dr. Gaius Galolo. But the point is, I think hence every stakeholder has spoken that the right thing to do is to release this man. I think that is the way to go, because looking at the information that came from the almost every stakeholder has spoken, I think the government should give it a priority attention. Looking at what came from the senators from the eastern part of the country under the leadership of Senator Aina Baribe, when they said that the other time they met with the Attorney General of Federation seeking to have a political solution to Nnamdi Kanu's issue. And at the time, the governors from the eastern part of the country equally promised to have a synergy, a meeting with the president, though that we have not seen. The reason behind the delay is, but I think all hands should be on deck to see how the man Nnamdi Kanu can get out of that captivity for a possible peace in that region. But I've always seen far away United States of America talking about the American veterans of Igbo descent calling on the governors of southeastern part of the country to rise to the occasion and interface with federal government for the possible release of the man, Nnamdi Kanu. We're equally saying UN, talking about their advice and their admonition that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. So the point is, I think at this point, it is honorable for the federal government to see how they can find a political solution to this particular issue. Because the way it is, even Nnamdi Kanu himself has spoken the other day in court that if you get out of that place, given 2 minutes, the problem of insecurity in the region will be solved. I think we should give that an attention. We should allow the we should give him that benefit of doubt. Perhaps when he out, let the government see whether he have the capacity to address, talk to people, for tension to douse down, for insecurity to come down. Because I'm saying it particularly because I understand that the whole essence of governance borders on the welfare of the people, their security, and borders on particularly the security of lives and property. Because if you look at section 14 of 1999 Constitution as amended, I think it's very clear about what shall constitute the primary purpose of governance. It says that the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose. I think it is not out of place for the government to give his release a priority attention if that will engender the necessary peace needed in the region. Because for me, life is sacrosanct, because as human, we don't have what it takes to create life. And if life is being wasted the way and manner we are seeing it, and we now believe that his release will curtail or perhaps reduce the rate at which people are being killed in that region, I think for me is something that is worth doing. Because if actually his release will stop the killing, I think the government should give it priority attention. Then again, looking at the long-term solution to agitation, I think the government at this point should be courageous enough to perhaps provide a roundtable conversation to address all this long-age agitation from different quarters. Today we are seeing Biafra saying they want to go. Perhaps tomorrow we'll see some from other angles. Of course, this is not the first time we'll be seeing such agitation. Remember that even Sunday Board the other day went to the UK, submitting a letter to the Prime Minister's office, requesting for several. British Embassy in Nigeria here have advised Sunday Board and his colleagues other Nigerians to build. I think what the point is, they have made their intention known that they are dissatisfied with the country, with the way the country is being run, and as such that they want their own sovereign state. They're looking at the what have been repeatedly said by someone like the Nobel laureate, talking about Professor Woloshenka, looking at it from the point of ideology, because they have often said that Biafra is an ideology, and that if you must address it, it must be from the ideological point of view. So to that extent, I think the government should be courageous enough to address it from that ideological point of view. And to do that is to summon courage to have a roundtable conversation. Even the other time, the senator representing Delta North in the Nigerian Senate, talking about Senator Ned Nwoko, was very vehement and vocal in his position that even a Samanekpa who is based in Finland, who we understand is now in custody of Finnish authority, the senator was very resolute in his position that even when you arrest someone like Samanekpa, that 100,000 Samanekpas will emerge. Of course, I think that has since been proven, because since his arrest, that did not deter people who are agitating for the sovereign state of Biafra. We are seeing people even struggling to take over his position, or rather to assume the leadership position where vacuum has been created as a result of his arrest. And we are talking about who, according to the affair of the Biafra government in exile, we equally saw another person who we understand is the financial secretary of that Biafra government in exile, talking about Okere, who is now claiming or equally laying claim to that office. The point is, if arrest is not deterring people, hounding is not deterring people, intimidation is not deterring people, it goes to show that someone like Professor Woloshenka is correct, that it is an ideology, that it can be only addressed from the ideological point of view. That is the point I'm trying to make. And it's on that ground I'm encouraging the government to summon courage and make available a table for conversation where you bring all interests on board. Because currently people have argued that even the very grand norm constitution of the country is not people's oriented constitution, as such that if you even want people to sign on to this country called Nigeria, that there's every need to come up with a people's oriented constitution, because we understand that the constitution we use currently was forced on Nigerians by the military, and of course is the bane of almost all the problem we're having. So for me, I think the government have the ball in their courts, and the way they can play it for the benefit of all, for a situation, is to table conversation to address all this age-long agitation. I must say very big thank you for your time. This is Satellite Media, and I'm Mr. Matthew. Thank you very much.